So, from today, they said the reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita will be there on a daily basis until Gaur Purnima, which is on Friday. And so we'll be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita today. The verse for today is Adi-Lila, second chapter. Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we will read text 2 and we'll read more. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-Lila, chapter 2, Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, text 2. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala Patojani Brajita Sat Bhakta Avali Hamsa Chakra Madhupa Sreni Vihara Aspadam Karnanandi Kala Dhvanir Bahatu Me Jikhva Maru Prangane Sri Chaitanya Dayanidhe Tava Lasad Leela Sudha Swarduni Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala Pato Jani Brajita Sadbhaktavali Hamsa Chakra Madhupa Treni Viharaspadam Karnanandi Kaladhvanir Vahatu Me Jihva Maru Prangane Sri Chaitanya Dayanidhe Tavalasad Leela Sudha Swarduni Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala Pato Jani Brajita Swadbhaktavali Hamsa Chakra Madhupa Sreni Viharaspadam Karnanandi Kaladhvanir Vahatu Me Jihva Maru Prangane Sri Chaitanya Dayanidhe Tavalasad Leela Sudha Swarduni Krishna, anybody else? Anybody wants to read? Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala Pato Jani Brajita Sadbhaktavali Hamsa Chakra Madhupa Shreni Viharaspatam Karnanandi Kaladvanir Vahatu me Jihva Maru Prangane Sri Chaitanya Dayanide Tavalasad Leela Sudha Swardhuni Krishna, of the holy name of Lord Krishna, Utkirtana, loud chanting, Gana, singing, Nartana, dancing, Kala, of the other fine arts, Patajani, with lotuses, Brajita, beautified, Sadbhakta, of pure devotees, Avali, rose, Hamsa, of swans, Chakra, Charvaka birds, Madhupa, and bumblebees, Shreni, like swarms, Vihara, of pleasure, Aspadam, the abode, Karnanandi, gladdening the ears, Kala, melodious, Dvani, sound, Vahatu, let it flow, Me, my, Jihva, of the tongue, Maru, desert-like, Prangane, in the courtyard, Sri Chaitanya Dayanidhe, O Lord Chaitanya, ocean of mercy, Tava, of you, Lasad, shining, Leela Sudha, of the nectar of pastimes, Swardhuni, the Ganges. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O my merciful Lord Chaitanya, may the nectarian Ganges waters of your transcendental activities flow on the surface of my desert-like tongue. Beautifying these waters are the lotus flowers of singing, dancing and loud chanting of Krishna's holy name, which are the pleasure abodes of unalloyed devotees. These devotees are compared to swans, ducks and bees. The river's flowing produces a melodious sound that gladdens their ears. Please repeat. O my merciful Lord Chaitanya, may the nectarian Ganges waters of your transcendental activities flow on the surface of my desert-like tongue. Beautifying these waters are the lotus flowers of singing, dancing and loud chanting of Krishna's holy name, which are the pleasure abodes of unalloyed devotees. These devotees are compared to swans, ducks and bees. The river's flowing produces a melodious sound that gladdens their ears. Purport. Our tongues always engage in vibrating useless sounds that do not help us realize transcendental peace. The tongue is compared to a desert because a desert needs constant supply of refreshing water to make it fertile and fruitful. Water is the substance most needed in the desert. The transient pleasure derived from mundane topics of art, culture, politics, sociology, dry philosophy, poetry and so on is compared to a mere drop of water, because although such topics have a qualitative feature of transcendental pleasure, they are saturated with the modes of material nature. So although such topics have a qualitative feature of transcendental pleasure, they are saturated with the modes of material nature. Therefore, neither collectively nor individually can they satisfy the vast requirements of the desert-like tongue. Despite crying in the various conferences, therefore, the desert-like tongue continues to be parched. For this reason, people from all parts of the world must call for the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are compared to swans swimming around the beautiful lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or bees humming around his lotus feet in transcendental pleasure, searching for honey. The dryness of material happiness cannot be moistened by so-called philosophers who cry for Brahman, liberation and similar dry speculative objects. The urge of the soul proper is different. The soul can be solaced only by the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his many bona fide devotees who never leave the lotus feet of the Lord to become imitation Mahaprabhus, but all cling to his lotus feet like bees that never leave a honey-soaked lotus flower. Lord Chaitanya's movement of Krishna consciousness is full of dancing and singing about the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. It is compared herein to the pure waters of the Ganges, which are full of lotus flowers. The enjoyers of these lotus flowers are the pure devotees, who are like bees and swans. They chant like the flowing of the Ganges, the river of celestial kingdom. The author desires such sweetly flowing waves to cover his tongue. He humbly compares himself to materialistic persons who always engage in dry talk from which they derive no satisfaction. If they were to use their dry tongues to chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, as exemplified by Lord Chaitanya, they would taste the sweet nectar and enjoy life. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschyatyate Tarine Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There must be a picture that will come and we'll show it later at some point. You got it? There will be a picture cartoon. Google that thing and get that cartoon picture. Later I'll put it up. Maybe you should do that on the computer. So, we know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, which is established by Srila Rupa Goswami. So, Srila Prabhupada writes in the first paragraph of Nectar of Devotion, if I am not mistaken in my memory, he writes that this Krishna consciousness movement is being carried out under the direct supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. under the direct supervision of Srila Prabhu. So, Srila Prabhupada, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very unique. And if we don't understand the uniqueness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we cannot get even started on the path of bhakti. There is a verse in Chaitanya Bhagavat, I think, where it says that anyone in Kali Yuga who worships Radha Krishna but doesn't worship Lord Chaitanya is a demon. So if we want to understand Lord Chaitanya, then we have to understand Krishna. And it's not a very simple thing to understand Krishna, and already Chaitanya Charitamrita in the first volume, in the first chapter, is established the highest truth, how Krishna is the source of everything and everybody. There is one in the Adi-Lila, in the chapter, in the first 5 chapters, there is a sloka where it says that Krishna some people say Narayana is Krishna, some people say Kshirashai Vishnu is Krishna. They are all correct. So find that verse. It's probably in the 5th chapter, I am not sure. Anyway. It's a great treatise. How to understand Krishna is not a simple thing. And if we understand Krishna, then we can understand Lord Chaitanya. Of course, you have to understand Krishna, then you have to understand Srimati Radharani. And then we can begin to understand Krishna. Lord Chaitanya. And people, we don't even know who is Krishna. But all these things, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that is possible by Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So there is a verse here, the previous verse to this is text 2. Text 1 says, Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Balo api yat anugrahat Taren nana matak graha Vyaptam Siddhanta Sagaram. I offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even an ignorant child can swim across the ocean of conclusive truth, which is full of crocodiles of various theories. So here the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita is saying that even a child can understand the full truth about the Supreme Godhead by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, and not be confused by all the so many theories in so many places. But this is not to say that all such theories cannot be connected to Krishna. They can be and they must. We will see an example of that later. So we, without really knowing those theories, mastering them and understanding their connection to Krishna, if we simply reject those theories, they are fools, we will be fools. Or at least I will be a fool. And I don't want to do that. So the study of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually study of Radha Krishna, and there is did you find that? There is, like you keep it, and I want, you can put it up. And similarly, there is a verse again in this first chapters of which describes Radharani's eyes are, seeing Krishna, her bodies. So it's explaining Radharani is a pressure potency of Krishna. There's a verse somewhere there in the first 5 chapters. Find that out. I don't memorize sloka numbers. Anyway, so it just describes Srimati Radharani, her eyes and just things, so you can just get that. It is a very high topic. Very high topic. I've given the example before. Long time ago, I gave the example. There are males and females in every species. There is a male dog, a female dog, there is a male cat, there is a female cat, there is a male lion, there is a female lion, there is a male human being, there is a female human being, there is male yakshas, male yakshanis, there are male gandharvas, and there are male gandharvis, a female gandharvis. Did I say males, female gandharvis? And there are male devas and there are female devis. And there is a supreme male Krishna and supreme female Radharani. A female cat and a human female cannot be compared. There is no comparison at all. There is no comparison between a human female and a demigod goddess. You cannot understand. We cannot, by knowing female cat, know about female human beings. Try to understand. It's not possible at all. They're completely different. Similarly, by knowing human females, we cannot know about goddesses. They look similar, but they're completely different. And similarly, even the goddesses cannot know Radharani. It's not the same, female. So it is a great science. Who is Krishna? Who is Radharani? This is the original truth. But that truth Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bringing. And the uniqueness of Lord Chaitanya's descent is that although in every incarnation, even when Krishna comes, everybody is given a chance to go back to Godhead. Everybody is given the truth. Practically nobody makes use of it. So although Krishna says that Bhava Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhava Magata, many people by purified by Jnana and Tapasya. This is required. Jnana and Tapasya, Vairagya are accompaniments of bhakti. There is no question of bhakti without Jnana and Vairagya. But they are not to be cultivated separately. So it is said, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janete Asu Jnanam Cha Vairagyam Yadagaitukam. Costlessly you get Jnana, but you must get Jnana and Vairagya. And Vairagya means Vitaraga, without attachment to matter, and Visesha Raga, attachment to spirit, supreme spirit. So Vairagya has got two aspects, detachment to matter, attachment to spirit, supreme spirit. Just like if a student is not going to college but he is going to cinema, then he should stop going to cinema, but that's not enough. He should go to class. So we have to be freed from material attachment, but we have to also develop attachment for Krishna. These are stages in bhakti. On the one hand, you have people who are completely attached to matter, not attached to Krishna at all. On the other hand, you have people who are fully attached to Krishna and fully detached to matter. Then there are people, who are detached from matter but have no attachment to Krishna. They are transcendentalists. And there are people who are attached to Krishna but not detached from matter. So all these four things are there. They are called Sahajiyas. The impersonalists are detached from matter, no attachment to Krishna. And the Sahajiyas are Prakrita Sahajiyas. They are attached to Krishna, but they are also attached to matter. And there are pure devotees who are attached to Krishna and not attached to matter at all. And there are pure non-devotees too, who are attached to matter and not attached to Krishna at all. Fully renounce Krishna. Atma Ramasya Munayo Nirgrante Api Urukrame. The word Nirgranta means, again it has two meanings. Everything has got full meanings. Nirgranta means those who lead their life above granthas. They are beyond, that is spontaneous bhakti. And there are also nirgranthas, means whose life has, granthas have got no role to play. Nirgrantha, they are also fully. They were all in America and Germany and England, now in India mostly. They don't even know what is Vedas, what is Manushya, how is Swayambhuva Manu, is the origin of the 14 Manus, the first Manu. They do not know any of these things. They do not know what is their Gotra, what is the Kulam. Even in India, there are people, it's gone. Nirgrantha. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy is so fantastic. Atma Ramasya Munayo Nirgranto Api. You are either type of Nirgrantha, those who have actually got liberated and who are no longer leading their life according to the regulative principles, and those who are devoid of any spiritual content in their lives, both actually can understand, and relish spiritual life, the highest spiritual life, who is Radha Krishna service, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So the uniqueness of Lord Chaitanya's presence is not only that, it's because all the incarnations, all the acharyas have come and given the chance. Without discrimination, they have also, even though the Brahminical class of men who are not Vaishnavas might have not understood this philosophy and did not propagate it, that's a different matter. As such, it was never not given. It was given to everybody. Still, nobody actually became perfect. Manishanam sahasheshu kaschijateti siddhaye. Nobody became perfect. But Lord Chaitanya's uniqueness is that in this one life, we can go back to Godhead, if we want. If we want. It's an extraordinary benediction given, which means you must be focused on that. Vyavasatmika buddhihi ekeho kurunandana. That eke is the goal that Lord Chaitanya has set up. Jivera Swarup Nitya Krishna Das. This is the actual single-pointed attention of the living. So very difficult. Very, very difficult. Because you have to have bhakti. And bhakti is cultivated by the 9 processes: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Pujyam, Dasyam, Atmanivedanam, like that. These are like watering the plant. But very important is the plant. If there is no plant and we are every day morning going into the garden and watering, Nothing. Of course, the bhakti is so great that even if you don't plant the seed and water, one day the opportunity will come, somebody will come and say, Hare, kodke under dal do seed, then you do the same thing, it will come. So throughout unlimited generations, eons of time, Shravanam Kirtanam has been going on. Nothing new. When I first became devotee, I remember when I went to Chennai, it was just a citadel of all tradition and everything. They were saying, "What else? We know what is this Govinda, Govinda. We know how to chant Krishna's name." And Prabhupada was also distributing the BTG in Delhi. They said, "Why are you telling us to chant Hare Krishna? We know all of this." When Prabhupada went to Canada in the very beginning, then one Sardarji stood up in the thing and he said, in order to get away from you people only, we came to Canada. Why have you come here to bother us? So everybody, so Chakravanam and Kirtanam is there known since beginning of creation. But nothing is happening. Why? Because there is no seed. Plant has not been put. Plant has not been put. So how to get the plant seed? Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Brahmanda Brahmite, in this Brahmanda, Brahmite means Chakkar, Martha, is going round and round and round. So all the souls are going up and down. Kono Bhagyavan Ji, who is that fortunate fellow who got Bhakti Lata Bij? Because when she get the Bhakti Lata Bij, all the chanting and dancing and everything will have effect. Otherwise, I'm chanting and I'm dancing, 10 years have gone by, 20 years and 30 years, but no change. Are you following? तो थोड़ा अंदर एग्जामिन करना पड़ेगा, अंदर देखना पड़ेगा, बीज है क्या नहीं है. Prabhupada writes in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, that there is karma misra bhakti, jnana misra bhakti, yoga misra bhakti, so many misra. When misra is there, it's no longer misri, it's no longer sweet. Misra is mixed. So whether I'm contaminated by fruitive results, you see, or by mystical powers. Beginning of mystical powers is at least getting some temple post. I have to become this, I have to become that. These are all very important, very subtle, but so Lord Chaitanya says, Na danam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisa kamiye, mama janmani janmani ishvare, bhavatat bhakti rahi tu ki koi. Time kitna? Oh, abhi 8:45. Not, time is going so fast. I remember when I first went to study for BE in 1965, Chidambaram. That was a very village, so quiet. And if you go for a walk for about 1 hour and come back, 5 minutes would have passed. That's why you think you have gone for 1 hour because time is going so slow. But only 7 o'clock I started. After 1 hour walk, I came back and looked at the watch, 7:05. Time is, because it's so slow. But in Lord Chaitanya's movement, time is going so fast. Anyway, so, The science of Krishna consciousness is the science of understanding Lord Chaitanya. So this Bhaktilata Beej can be obtained by everybody, but it is not so easy. God cannot give on his own Bhaktilata Beej. Not possible. He has tried. Failed. He came. He spoke Bhagavad-gita. He came in so many avatars. And the Guru cannot also by his own give Bhaktilata Beej because that's not a bona fide Guru. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, by their cooperation, they can catch the soul. They're trying, but it's a very deep science. Very deep science. How so the Acharya acts and how Krishna reciprocates. That's why I always say, normal outside, also there is teacher to student, parampara is there. That's not parampara. Outside also, I studied under such and such professor. Without going and studying under somebody, there is no way you can learn anything. But it's not called parampara. In normal teaching, there is a teacher and there is a student. But in parampara, there are three things: the teacher, the student, and God. That's a great science. When the Acharya speaks, what he speaks is very important because he has heard it from the previous Acharya. And he has heard it from previous Acharya, like that it goes to Krishna. But when you hear it, you are not capable of understanding. But if you are sincere, and Krishna in your heart will make you understand. So there are three things. And when you understand, by Krishna's help, the Acharya knows, oh, he is a sincere person, because what I said he understood. That means Krishna must have helped him. That is there in the Bhagavad-gita. Everything is there, but you cannot see. There is a purport, Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavad-gita, that the Acharya instructs the disciple to do something, and when the disciple, if he is sincere, when he does it, Krishna helps him. And so when he comes back, the Acharya realizes that the Krishna has helped this disciple because he is sincere, and he blesses him. This is described in the, I think in the 3rd chapter or 4th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. But it's written in such a breezy way by Prabhupada, you cannot even notice that he has written it. That is why Prabhupada said that these purports are my ecstasies. He has given everything. Suppose you think, how can I know how a Mahabhagavat thinks? What will Mahabhagavat say in this situation, that situation? Everything you can know by reading Prabhupada's books. It's extraordinary. Anyway, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, did you find that verse about Radharani? Yeah. You didn't find it? What is it? What does it say? What? No. You just put Radha in, select first Adi volume Lila, select Adi-Lila and put Radha and see which verse first comes. You keep looking until that comes. So, what was I saying? What was I saying? What was, nobody is following. What was I saying? Huh? Huh? Ecstasies. Yeah, after that I didn't say anything. Anyway, we'll restart the class. So the point is that Srila Prabhupada has given everything I was saying, but I'm just going round and round because it's a very important topic. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna and Radharani combined. But who is Krishna? You see? Chaitanya Charitamrita gives a fantastic description. You can put up, Haribol, put up Adi-Lila, 2nd chapter, verse 112. I will also take it. You go to 112, 105. He Govind, He Gopal, He Govind, He Charan. So text 112, dal diya? So here it's a very beautiful text. All other incarnations are situated in potential form in the original body of the primeval Lord Krishna. Is describing Krishna. Thus, according to one's opinion, one may address him as any one of the incarnations. Previous verses are saying. Because some people are saying Krishna is the incarnation of Narayana. Some people are saying Krishna is Vishnu. Some people may say Krishna is Lord Narasimha or this or that. Different people, different. But here he says, this is all, and Lord Chaitanya is the supreme truth. To call him as Kshirodakshai Vishnu does not add to his glory. And that's a very interesting verse because when in the very beginning when I was preaching, I used to give the example that people think that Krishna is God, and that is actually understating Krishna. I used to say that in the very beginning. It is just like if the Prime Minister of the country lives in the same area where you are living, and he happens to be the president of the local tennis club. He agrees to be. Okay. So you introduce him to somebody as he is the president of our tennis club. That is not good because he is actually the prime minister. Similarly, to say Krishna is God, that's a depromotion for Krishna, I used to say, long time ago. Because Krishna in the spiritual world, especially in Vaikuntha, Goloka, and especially in his pastimes with the gopis, and especially his pastimes with Srimati Radharani, there is no comparison to his pastimes in the material creation. Although there is qualitatively no difference, Prabhupada says that. So to say that Krishna is God, I said it's not. I was a young devotee at that time. I don't know how I said it, but I did say it. But, then I find this verse here. Lord Chaitanya is the supreme absolute truth. To call him Kshirodakshai Vishnu does not add to his glory. In other words, to say that he is Narayana or Vishnu, that is not saying full. Why? Because it says, translation, because it says that all other incarnations are situated in potential form in the original body of the primeval Lord. Thus, according to one's opinion, one may address him as in any one of the incarnations. And here comes the greatness of Lord Chaitanya's philosophy. It's called Chaitanya Charitamrita, the highest truth, postgraduate study. So what does it mean to say all forms are potentially present in the Lord? It is real or not real? Isn't it? So, there it is saying. Some say that Sri Krishna is directly Naranarayana. Others say that he is Vamana. Some say Krishna is Shirashai Vishnu's incarnation. None of these statements are impossible. Each is correct as the others. Because all forms are potentially present. There is another verse again in the same thing where it says Vilasa Vigraha or something, various types of expansions. You look for the word Vilasa, I think you should find it. So, what does it potential mean? Potential means that it's a very great thing. I will try to explain. I myself don't know much, this is not a subject matter for a fool like me can speak, but at the same time, an attempt to say a little bit. It will not be even the beginning of absolute truth, but at least, hopefully, it won't be wrong. Just like, you see, a person is a carpenter. And in his home, his husband to some woman and his father to children. But still he is carpenter too. Somebody calls urgently, Abba, please come, some problem is there, is a plumber or whatever it is. I mean, some example I am giving. The example is, the point is important, not the example. Then when he goes out, he's become carpenter. But he's still the same person. And when he was in the house, the fact that he was a carpenter was potentially present. Adi, verse 76. 189. Yes, thank you. Yes. So, these expansions, so Krishna, all forms, all the Narayanas, all the Chaturvyuhas, Krishna, Balarama, Vamana, Narsimha, all forms are potentially present in Krishna. Then, in the Adi-Lila chapter, this is the science of Godhead. Imagine how many topics have been discussed just within the first, second chapters. So Rupa Goswami is quoted, you see, and it says that if numerous forms, all equal in their features, are displayed simultaneously, such forms are called Prakasha Vigrahas. Numerous forms with, are displayed simultaneously, equal in features. These are Prakasha Vigrahas, like when Krishna manifested in the form of cows, so many Narayanas, and then when Brahma came, he could see they were Narayanas. They are Prakasha Vigrahas. So it actually manifested. And then the Narayanas were going inside Krishna, potential, coming back. It's not so easy to understand the word potential, by the way. We'll come to that. This is all there, right there in the first chapter of Adi-Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Such fine distinctions. The Lord in His potential form, all the forms of the incarnations are potentially present in the Lord all the time. But they are also separately manifested. They are Vilasa Vigrahas and Prakasha Vigrahas, so many They all have different things. And then it says that, but when the numerous forms are slightly different from one another, they are called Vilasa Vigrahas. So the Narayanas could have been Vilasa Vigraha, and then when Krishna manifested himself in the 16,108 palaces, or with all the gopis, with each gopi, that could be Prakasha Vigrahas, identical. So, great science. We cannot know. Just all this can be understood if you are doing hearing and chanting after getting Bhakti Lata Bij. There is a verse which says that mercy of the Acharya by which you get into bhakti, if that is not present, then Krishna's mercy comes, it will actually wither the soul away. Just like if you have a lotus flower and it's not in water and the sun is burning, it will go away. But in the water, the same sun will give it a lot of Shakti. So this is the science of Godhead. Krishna is a science, but Lord Chaitanya is even more a science. Did you find that Radharani verse? You have to look for the word Radha, chapter Adi-Lila, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Can't you find out? Anyway, and Srimati Radharani is Krishna's pleasure potency. And as such, she is not different from Krishna. Because Krishna's enjoyment is not different from Krishna, and its personification is Srimati Radharani. That is there in very first Adi-Lila, 4th chapter, kitna number? What is the sloka verse? Yeah. Don't tell me this chapter 4 and all that. I just want that verse where is Radharani is described, and you can't even find it. Okay. Huh? Chapter number? 115. Very good. Thank you very much. Wonderful. In chapter 1 there is no 115.
No, chapter and suluk number 5.
1, 5. Really? That early? No. Anyways, I will just... It's a very beautiful verse. So, Krishna's pleasure potency is Radharani. Oh. And it is described, Radharani's eyes are the pleasure of seeing Krishna. She is the embodiment of the pleasure potency. And then it goes on to describe the more confidential. I won't get into that. I'm not qualified. But just imagine this beautiful description. We all have eyes, organs, and they can see anything. But what is described as Radharani's eyes are, the eyes are those which actually embody the pleasure of seeing Krishna. There's nothing else she sees. So you can say, oh, Radharani story, Radharani was closed her eyes, she didn't open it when she was born. And here is the scientific description. So, I don't want to speak more about this, so it's an amazing verse, just take it for granted, that's enough. In other words, so if you also engage your senses in such a way that you get pleasure from Krishna, then you will also be an expansion of Krishna's pleasure potency. That way you will also become a servant of Radharani. Therefore it is said, King Kulasekara, what is it? Not King Kulasekara, Ambarish Maharaj. What is it? Famous verse Prabhupada would always quote that his hands were engaged in this and Sabai mana Krishna padara vindayo vachamsi Krishna gunanu varnani. Karav mandir marjana, the hands are clean. So, why is Maharaj Ambarish, why is his body transcendental? Because his eyes were looking at Krishna, his hands were cleaning Krishna's temple, his legs were walking to Krishna's. So, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam, it's a science. It's coming from this fact, who is Radharani. Imagine what is a fantastic thing. In Garuda Purana, there is a statement that these are unimaginably beautiful things, but it is Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, so we can say. When Radha and Krishna enjoyed their intimate pastimes, after that Srimati Radharani was panting, and the 5 airs, the Panchabhutas, everything, they came from that. It is a verse like that in Garuda Purana. Fantastic science. Who is Krishna and who is Radharani? Just like an expert tabla player, even if he's just passing somewhere, he'll be, whatever he does is tabla playing. He doesn't need a tabla. So all reality is just a manifestation of Radha Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, Krishna tells Brahma that whatever is not connected to me is illusion. So, Radha and Krishna together, then that's it's even higher. So, when Prabhupada says it's postgraduate science, it's not a simple thing. So, it's a I'll make one more final point, it's a beautiful point, but that. So, when it is said that all forms are potentially present in Krishna, you read Adi-Lila, there is also another verse you find that in the purport, Prabhupada writes that there are the 3 forms of Vishnu. They are also somewhat connected to Maya, I say. So anyway, we cannot repeat whatever he says. These are very high points. People will get. Prabhupada writes, just like Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad-gita, there is a difference between Arjuna's body and soul. There is no such difference for Prabhupada. So imagine Prabhupada's position. Arjuna's body and Arjuna's soul are different, Prabhupada writes. It's there, the Bhagavad-gita. Just casually you can say. Extraordinary person. And so it's not that somebody is just casually or carelessly chosen to present Lord Chaitanya's philosophy. All the acharyas, one by one, they know exactly what they are doing. And all these acharyas are eternally present. Well, something I said, about Krishna, Rupa Goswami, under his direction, is present. So Prabhupada writes, before I want to talk about potential, remind me, did you find this purport? Read. Put that verse. It took so long. Anyway, you'll put it there. So, I'll go to that potential thing. Prabhupada writes that Krishna is not a historical personality. It is not that he came 5,000 years ago and he is no longer present. He was present before 5,000 years on earth. He is present 5,000 years ago and he is present now also. That is why it's Krishna Surya Sama. That is not that the sun was not there in the sky last night and it is there now. It was there last night also. It is there now. It will be there tonight also. Same place. Only we are changing our position. Like that, Krishna is eternally present. And all the acharyas are also eternally present. That is why it is taking place under the direct supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Put it there. Is that on the screen? Translation. What is that? Fourth chapter? 4th chapter, 16th verse. 4th chapter. उतना नंबर है 4th chapter में. Let's read it because it's very beautiful. This is, we can understand. Radharani's eyes are enchanted by the beauty of Lord Krishna. This is actually, the point I said is important, that's a definition. The enemy of Kamsa, her bodily thrills in pleasure at his touch. It's a great, I'm not qualified. Her ears are always attracted to his sweet voice. Her nostrils are enchanted by his fragrance and her tongue hankers on the nectar of his soft lips. He hangs on like that. In other words, we all have to engage our senses in Krishna's service, but her senses are defined in relation to Krishna's service. That's what an eye is. And that's Radharani's eye. So we are Rishikena Rishikesh Sevanam. We have to go like this, but they're coming from the top. So this is not a simple thing, Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not a storybook. Lord Chaitanya, when he gave prasadam, he took in his hands and he gave so much prasadam that 6 people, adults, peoples. Why are you speaking about all that? Do you know who is Lord Chaitanya? Do you know who is Lord Krishna? Do you know who is Srimati Radharani? So why is this a postgraduate study? So I'm going to complete this. So the idea of potential, if you see dictionary meaning, it would mean that something which is not actual. I'm potentially a carpenter, but right now I'm not actually a carpenter unless I'm. A doctor is at home, is potentially a doctor, but somebody calls when he goes and he treats, he is a doctor. That's not the point. You cannot understand by common sense like that. Potential is also real. There is no difference between real and potential. So that's why Krishna is known as absolute truth. And modern scientists are coming to this point of, they have found out scientifically one aspect of this. So I will just close with that. So if you are going and there is a wall, what will you do? You are stuck. But if you are going and there is a door, what you will do? You will go through the door. If you are going and there are two doors, what will you do? You will say that you will take one of the doors. No, you can go through both doors. Because the potentiality for going through both doors is existing in you. How is it possible, So if you are just going, there's two doors, you can go through both. If there are two possible ways to go, you can go through both ways. That's known as the famous two-slit experiment. It's mathematically it's found. And its potential, because of a very scientific reason, I'll just mention it without explanation. If these are all this is directly connected to this, but you may not even know. So how you will know that Chaitanya Charitamrita is the scientific postgraduate study of Godhead? So you know that, every one of you know that if you want to know where is the position of that mridanga, you will say, well, it is 2 feet from, I'll go, he's sitting, I'll have to go 2 feet here, 1 feet here, and 1 feet there, that is where the lamp is. Just to give the example. 3 numbers are given, 3 coordinates it's called. So you actually give a position, a number, technically a real number. Suppose if I hit a football, but you don't know which way I'm going to hit. But you can talk about probabilities. I'm not going to be hitting it this way. Probability of the football having a position in this area is 0. And I'm not going to hit that way or that way because the goal is here. So the closer to the goal, the probabilities are like that. You can give probabilities. But when the ball is in your hand and you are hitting it, there is no probability. It will only go through one track. That used physics. But in quantum mechanics, this is technically correct, but I'm just putting it in a simple way. They found that if there are many possible paths, then some element of reality is connected with all the paths such that you could say it is not actually going, because if it actually went, it will have one number. But it's not probably going in the sense that when it's only going through one thing, you don't know which one. It's actually going through all the paths. But not really, because it's defined by complex numbers. So they say it's potential. So it's a great, it's another topic. And you can put that picture, cartoon. This came up in 1940 or something, the very famous cartoonist. Like we had R.K. Lakshman. It was as big as that, much bigger probably. And, he put a kawa. Can you see that? You're not showing the full thing? There is a guy going uphill and downhill one fellow is going. Do you see? His tracks are there. Do you see what is strange about that? What is that? No, but he passed a tree and both his legs are around the tree, but how did he get past the tree? See? Actually, when it was published in New Yorker, nobody knew what is meant. He's a cartoonist. Until today, people don't know, but actually, he was actually explaining the two-slit experiment. Very, one of the most cleverest ways of explaining the two-slit experiment. The experiment is even more beautiful, anyway. So, in other words, he went through two potential parts, and this kind of beauties are there. So, if a fool like me, if I can make this kind of connections, imagine Prabhupada, Mahabhagavats, when they read Charitamrita, what they must be relishing and what we will be relishing. So it's a science, the science of Godhead. This science, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought. If you do not have the Bhakti-lata Bij, it will not grow. If the seed is not there, how is it going to grow a plant? So, Shravanam Kirtanam, for that you must get the Bhakti-lata Bij, and the Bhakti-lata Bij comes by the joint efforts of Krishna and Prabhupada, and that's another story. How they do that, what are all the things, why is it so difficult? So it's not so simple to get Bhakti-lata Bij. But you can if you want. So you have to know what is Bhakti-lata Bij and how to get it. Then and only then we can progress in the science of understanding Lord Chaitanya, and then you can preach. Oops. Yes. Any comments?
Was that person in his subtle body?
No, gross body. That's the beauty. It's a good question.
Okay. I saw in New York, if you had been to New York, the subway train, they showed a cartoon like this.
There is a
Cartoon.
Yes.
So, in that cartoon, the person was entering while the train was moving. One person, just the door is closed, everything is closed, and this person just ran and then he entered in the train. So that's why I was thinking, just if
I wanted to say that, okay, anyway, see, I could have gone into, that's the second part of my talk. How is this connected to Chaitanya Charitamrita? You can make the connection scientifically, not just, but anyway. So I told you first that if there is a wall, you are stopped. If there is one door, you'll go through one door. If there are two doors, you'll go through two doors. But if the wall is there, you can still go through.
Yes.
That's called quantum tunneling.
That's also what exactly I saw.
Yeah. That also quantum mechanics says. So if there is one door and you go through, that's no big deal. But that is also a big deal. That I won't explain. Even if you go through one door, it's a miracle. But if there is only wall you go through, that's also a miracle.
Exactly.
And if there are two doors and you go through both of them, that's also a miracle. So this actually means that one key fellow, when he came to the tree, he separated into two parts, potentially, and he went past them, and he joined and became one again. That's the kind of idea of quantum mechanics. So it's very beautiful. I mean, what does it mean? I have to teach you mathematics and physics and so many things. But I am trying to today my aim is to show that I was trying to show. We are speaking for the pleasure of Prabhupada and Krishna, and of course all of you. So the thing is that, we don't want to show anything, we just speak and whatever comes. But the point is that Chaitanya Charitamrita is amazing. And all I'm doing is only reading the first few chapters, first chapter, second chapter, third chapter. And there is so much masala. I didn't even start, it's just beginning. So when Prabhupada says his postgraduate study, we should not casually think, okay, abhi Bhagavad-gita ho gaya, abhi Bhagavatam start karenge. ठीक है, अभी Bhagavatam हो गया, अभी Chaitanya Charitamrita start करेंगे. It's not like that. That's fine, it's good. So, thank you, that's a good point you made.
Thank you. One little thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Prabhupada says very clearly that those who do not understand the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their life is useless. So my point is, those who are not trying to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they are worshipping Radha and Krishna, they are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan, they are worshipping different these different deities, Vishnu form. So are their life is useless?
No, that I said in the beginning of the class.
Yeah, I remember that, but that's why I'm asking. Please repeat
I
that.
cannot say that.
Okay.
That is, Prabhupada can say and we can repeat it. And we can only say Prabhupada said it.
Yeah.
Once one devotee told me that he asked Prabhupada, how can we say that scientists are fools and rascals?
Yes.
We are not qualified. Prabhupada said, no, you cannot say that. And then he said, but you can say that our Guru Maharaj said. That we should say, that Prabhupada said they are fools, not that we think they are fools, because we are ourselves fools. So, I remember in University of Uppsala, and Uppsala is a pretty big university like MIT or Harvard, there one professor came to meet Prabhupada, and he was talking about everything, and he mentioned Einstein, and Prabhupada said animal. And the professor was shocked completely. But he was very favorable. This was the beginning, when Prabhupada was setting up ISKCON. And Prabhupada said he dismissed animal. So then, at the end, he was talking about evolution, and Prabhupada beautifully explained to him. Prabhupada said, and he said that evolution is the main thing. The professor said he's a biologist. Prabhupada said, just see. Prabhupada said, that's all right, Prabhupada said. Suppose you are starting a company, right? You will appoint some people, is it not? And the professor said, yes. Prabhupada said, you will require peons and you will also require top managers, is it not? And he said, yes. And you will appoint first who, the peon or the top manager? So he said, top manager, because he can appoint the peon. He said. So when Krishna creates the universe, he will create first amoeba or he will create Brahma? I mean, nobody can give this kind of arguments. It's not possible. Wow, So that fellow, he was laughing, the professor, and he said, Brahma, he said. See, that's what it is. So where is evolution? Now, in science, we cannot speak like that. We have to speak scientifically. Prabhupada wanted that. But for Prabhupada, it's too small. Everything, proving life comes from life. He knows everything. Like he told about Bhakti Vinod. Bhakti Vinod could have completed everything, Srila Bhakti Vinod. He left something for us. Like that, Prabhupada could have done science also, in the way of science, but he left something for us to do. So, the question is that at the end, the professor said, whatever you are saying is nice, but I can't go and tell people that Einstein is an animal. Nobody will accept in the universities. Prabhupada said, that's all right. He said, you can say I said it. And he was a little doubtful. Then Prabhupada said, it's like this. He said, in the forest there are many animals, is it not? Again, is it not? And he said, yes. I remember, he's a big professor at Uppsala and Prabhupada is teaching him. And is it not? Yes. Then Prabhupada said, but don't we say that because he said that Einstein is like in the best among the scientists. So that's all right, he said, Prabhupada. So we say that the lion is the king in the forest, is it not? He said, yes. But lion is also animal, correct? And he said, yes. So Einstein is the top of the scientists, but he is also an animal. That was his position. So, what about, we can't discuss, but the fact is that they asked Srila Prabhupada once, a sincere Christian, if he follows Jesus Christ, will he go back to Godhead? Prabhupada said, if he is really sincere in this age, he will become a devotee of Lord Chaitanya. So, any sincere follower of Lord Shiva, any sincere follower of Ganesh, any sincere follower of course, various forms of the Lord, they will all follow Lord Chaitanya. Why should they not? I remember when I started reading Prabhupada's books, then I decided to join the movement in Detroit. I was living a little away from Detroit in Flint. And then I told the temple president I want to join full time. And he said, okay, I'm sending you a van tomorrow morning. And I went to sleep. But when I was going to sleep, I suddenly got a doubt that I never got before that. Because I'm from the so-called Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. So for us, so it is surprising that in the heart that attachment is there to Ramanujacharya. It must have been, because I was not following Sri Vaishnava or anything. Even though I'm born in a Pakka Sri Vaishnava family. But when I went to sleep, suddenly this thought came that, but I'm supposed to follow Ramanujacharya. So if I go to this temple tomorrow, I'll be following another Acharya. Is that okay? The thought came somehow, but I went to sleep. And you remember, this was 78 or 79. So those days, everything was new. So I went to sleep. Then I woke up in the morning. The first thing I heard a voice inside tell me, I don't know, I assume it's Krishna. The voice said that Ramanujacharya will be most pleased if you follow Prabhupada. And immediately I became very peaceful and by 6 o'clock the devotee came and I packed everything and I moved. That's a different matter. So I think, that if you are a sincere worshipper of, so many people are there, even Hindus there are. I remember there was one devotee who used to come to Chennai temple in the 80s. He was a Pakka Skanda, Muruga Bhakta. We call him Muruga, Skanda. Skanda, brother of Kartikeya. He was a big Muruga Bhakt, very big. They are as devoted as, Krishna Bhakt and Narayana Bhakt or Vishnu Bhakt. They are quite devoted to the demigod. And then he became a Krishna devotee and he was, our kind of tapasya he said, did and all that, I was amazed. He was quite young. I asked him, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? He said, one day Kartikeya came in my dream and he said that you should go to ISKCON temple and join. I said, you must be a real bhakta of Muruga because he gave you good advice. If you are Nakli bhakta, then Kartikeya is not going to bother about you. So, that is there. Shiva, bhakta, we can all become. That's all I can say. Anyway, now it's pretty late, we'll stop here. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanandi. All glorious assembled devotees are here.